What up, everybody? This is DGK. We're going to be playing Mafia Crime Wars here. We're going to talk about today, are these enforcers that you're looking at worth it? Do you want to use them? And what exactly are they? So when you go into the enforcers section here, I actually just got a new one. You can select any one that you would like to see. So let's go down and see if we just got this one. So I have no idea what he does. Actually, as long as I've been playing this game, it's the first time I've had him. His name is Big John Howard. He is from the Lone Wolf faction, which is strong over the Mafia faction. You can see they got their little triangle thing here. It is suggested that you put him in the front. I'm going to tell you right now, don't ever read into what they say you should place these people. It just does not work. How do we know he's a tank? We can click on this here. It will tell us specifically he's a tank. It will tell us specifically what he's good at. He's good at debuffing. This one in particular also has a really strong ultimate skill here. He attacks 5 times quickly through a combination blow, dealing damage equal to 600% of the attack, and ending with an uppercut. And the enforcer will be immune to any control attempts while using the ultimate skill. So basically, he puts a big-ass shield up around himself that he can't take damage at all while that is occurring. That's actually this one right here. After taking fatal damage, the enforcer survives with 1 remaining hit power and becomes immune to all damage in the following 4 seconds. You can get that up to 8 seconds, so you can just kind of sit there with 1 health point and just take damage all day. He is good in the front of the line. He is an awesome tank. If you can level him up, you will need copies of him to level up. And there's not a whole lot of tanks in this game. Here's another one. I really like this guy. As you can see, as we can click on these here, we can tell what they do. This is a tank. He's good at buffing. He's also good at control. See, when he's being attacked, he grants a 20% chance to counterattack. I haven't seen a lot of counterattacks. There's some abilities that you can put on that can make them counterattack, but I like the counterattack option at least, since it's not available a lot in this game. But as in any game, if you have a tank and you're gonna put them up front, I don't suggest putting tanks in back, even though in this game they do have this tank here, Nikisa, specified as a tank, but according to the game creators, they would like you to put him in the rear. Not sure why. I don't know what kind of game you will put in a tank in the rear. Okay, so as you can see, we figured out how we can find tanks. We can click on them if they have this symbol. You can click on it. He's the tank. So let's kind of go through some of the more main characters that you're going to see, what they are, and if you'd like to play them. We'll just start with my highest one here. This is Eva. She is a tactician from the Lone Wolf faction. She is good at healing, and she is also a massive AoE attacker. Okay, so before you might have been thinking, well, I don't really know where to place these people. Alright, so just like any other game, you're going to want to put your heavy damage dealers in the back, so your front, your tanks and stuff can shield them from the first attacks that come across the board when you're in a battle. We'll go on to the next one. So this here is Tatiana. She is, we can click on here and find out, she's a fighter and a strong damage dealer. So basically, she's going to deal damage for you. She also has a special skill. It should be this one here. No. Oh, no, do they even state it here? Okay. When a battle starts, the enforcer leaps to the opposite enemy and increases crit rate by 30%, lasting for 8 seconds. So basically, she doesn't just stay in her set position on the board. She actually goes to the back line and attacks the opposite enforcer on the other side of her. So that's a real strong skill. So up front or in back, because of her special skill there, it doesn't really matter where you put her. But remember, if you do have her in front, she'll leap to the back of the other side, and you'll leave a spot open on your board that the regular enforcer from the other side can just attack through. Okay. We have here Elijah Stone. He is a tactician, he is a AoE attacker, and he is a damage dealer. So, in looking at your board, when you have it out there, you need an AoE attacker. You have to have an AoE attacker. Otherwise, it's one-on-one enemy skills and how they work. An AoE attacker is going to deal damage to everybody. You want that in this game, especially trying to progress through some of the levels. So now we have Noelle. Noelle is a shooter. She's a damage dealer, and she is a debuffer. You want Noelle in the back. It says to place her in front, but if you have a shooter, she doesn't need to stand up front and just get hit by everything that's going on. You want her ultimate to go off here, which is going to snipe the weakest enemy from a distance, dealing damage equal to 400% of the attack and additional damage equal to 20% of the target enemy's max HP. You can level that up to 600. So essentially, why I don't understand why you'd want to put her in front. She attacks from afar. You want her in back. All right, what do we got next here? This is going to be my favorite healer in the game. This is going to be Jinx. Jinx here is a straight-up healer. She's a controller, and she is a good buffer. She is going to do your healing for your team. She is a legendary. She does have 2 S's, SS. If you look back here, so these are single S rated, double S rated, triple S rated. So this is my favorite healer. I don't see anybody else use her for healing in this game. I love her. I rank highly all the time. I would suggest checking her out if you're looking for a healer. This here is Rowan. Rowan is also a shooter. She's got this pretty cool looking Gatling gun here. And she's an AoE attacker. Her only presence in this game is just for dealing damage. Okay, we'll flip over. Here we have Morrow. He has exactly the same skills. We got another shooter. We got another attacker. So we already looked at the tank. Here we have Matthias Jimenez. He is a tactician. He is an AoE attacker. And he is a damage dealer. Alright, so far we've seen a lot of these damage dealers. We also have the tank. Now, we have here Dr. Anthony Brand. He is an assist, and he's good at healing. He is, I'm not sure why he's not classified as a healer, but let's check out his skills. Maybe we figure it out. He died suddenly for no apparent reason. So the Enforcer injects a random target within the effective area, dealing damage equal to 200% of an attack. Okay, so that's why he's considered a assist, because not only does he heal, he also sets down I think it's like a cart, like a medical cart that deals damage to anybody that's in the area in an AoE place. It's not a lot of damage, but he still does a little. A lot of people love using him as a healer. We have here Daria. She is the same. She's an assist, even though she has a big gun in her hand. She is a buffer and a healer. So we've come across a couple healers. Well, assists that do also heal. This is another assist, even though this is what I believe. He's a debuffer and a controller. He's good at both. So if we look at his skills, he selects an enemy, dealing equal damage. Oh, that's right. So this guy throws out a box. Traps the enemy in the magic box for 4 seconds. You can put that up to 6. While they're in this box, they cannot attack, and they just basically take damage, 60% of the damage. He can be a pain. I'm starting to see him a lot more because he does lock down an enemy when he's fully leveled for 8 seconds. Alright, let's go on here. We have Turk. Turk is another tank. His only ability here is really, beyond being a tank, is he is an AoE attacker. I have not personally used him much yet. Here, I really like Ivy. She's a bow shooter, and she's good at control. So we have another attacker here. And then we have a couple left here. We have Joshua. Joshua is a straight-up tank. This man deals very little damage, but I believe it should be this skill here. No. Okay, so he can put up this big shield. Basically, these 2 car doors that are in front of him here that he's got holding on to, or whatever they may be. He throws it up in front of himself, all the way leveled up. He can shield up for 8 seconds to increase damage by 300. The shield able to block all flying objects. So basically, he puts up a big shield. You can't really hit him for up to 8 seconds, which if you have a healer on the team with him, or he heals himself, he will just continuously do this. It's a very effective tank. He doesn't really deal damage to anybody else. He's just a sheer tank. All right, here we have Santiago Rojas. He is a shooter, and he is an AoE attacker. Okay, another attacker. We already went over him. We have here Darius Gold. He is a shooter and a buffer. I would like to see the buff he has, so let's check that out. When the Enforcer is on the battlefield, help Enforcers from the same faction increase attack speed by 10% and those from different factions by 5. So he does help. So he increases attack speed by 10 if they're in the same. You can level that up to 15. And then, basically, other than that, though, he is a damage dealer that helps other damage dealers. Okay, that is what I have currently in my selection. There are a few others here that we can look at quick. I do not have Daria. Oh. We're going to only look at the regular ones that we can draw out. I don't have one of Lady Hane either. I've never seen anybody use her. She is a fighter. I'm assuming her draw rate is very low. She's a damage dealer. I'm not even sure of her skills, so let's check them out together. Attack 7 times to deal damage equal to 40% to attack the enemy each time. The later hits have 100% damage to deal critical damage. That's pretty cool. When the Enforcer launches a normal attack, recovers hit power, so she recovers her own hit power. Permanently increases dodge by 10% combat, which means she's going to be able to evade enemy skills very well. And her ultimate here is holding an umbrella. The Enforcer leaps to attack a random enemy, dealing 200 damage equal to 200% of attack. Meanwhile, the Enforcer increases attack speed by 80% and crit rate by 20%, which you can get up to 30 and 50. Wow. Yeah, so she is a pretty cool attacker. I have not pulled one out of literally thousands of pulls. Let's see. I did have a Charles. He's a controller. He puts up cells, basically. Randomly locks up 2 enemies for 3 seconds, which you can deals damage equal to 150% of attack at once. You can get that up to 200, and you can get it up to 3. He is a super strong control champion. I've seen him a lot. I really like what he does. I had one. I fed him to somebody else. So basically, let's just look at these champions. If they are 1S, they're obviously good. They are legendaries. If they have 2S's, they are even better. If they have 3, they're god tier. But let's just kind of go through them and just say, hey, do we want to use these or not? We're going to skip all these ones from the Bio faction, or the Cyborg faction, and the, let's see actually what they call it. I believe it's the Fire faction. We got somebody from that here. Mutant in the Cyborg, because they are not just regularly drawn. So we will just start at the beginning where they have this here. Irvine Hurst. Tank. He is the first on the list always. They give him a double S. I have not used him yet. I haven't seen him being used too many times. I don't think his draw rate is very high, so I think leveling him up may not be a priority for many of you. Dr. Anthony Brand, if we need an assist, a healer, great one. Joshua Owens for a tank, straight up front. He is a great tank. He really is. He wouldn't be my first choice, but so easy to level up. His draw rate is so high. This probably be one of the first ones that you're going to want to do. Jinx, I'm going with one of the best healers in the game here. Santiago Rojas for his attack. I would say he's definitely worth it. His draw rate is a little lower as well. Jeffrey, we didn't quite cover him. He is also a tank and a damage dealer. I like how they do that in this game. I don't use him. I've tried him out a little bit. But I wouldn't give him a double S. I'd give him an S. I won't talk about Lady Hane. I don't have one. Noelle Bettencourt, she is a straight up shooter. Love her. I'd keep her in the SS rank. Turk, S rank, for a tank. Not thrilled. A lot of people do use him. Tatiana, I love it. She leaps to the back. She hits the ones with the least hit power, which are usually the opponent's damage dealers. Great. I believe she should be a 2S. Elijah Sohn, AoE attacker, double S I would have gave him. Charles Smythe, love his abilities. I didn't build him right out the gate. I would give a 3S to him for sure. Scarlett Chambers, I really, she is an attacker. I like her skills. She's just normal in that category. I'm going to go with everyone along this line except for these two here, David Bishop and Matthias David, I'm going to say, is one of the strongest tanks in the game. Used constantly right now. Actually, one of his skills is that he runs over the whole entire enemy team and disrupts them from attacking. I love that. He puts Matthias puts up AoE attack in areas that he keeps changing, and he can be very strong. He's actually one of the people that you have to fight in the PvE modes. Darius, not too thrilled with. Rowan is a great damage dealer. Alex, great tank. Big John Howard, just got him. Also know him, very good tank. Shoko, I believe, she is almost exactly the same as, who are we looking at up here? She is almost exactly the same as Tatiana. She doesn't have, she's an attacker. She doesn't have much of a different skill. She jumps to the back, starts attacking. But what she does have that Tatiana doesn't is that she puts a shield up around herself and can still deal damage. So I would have put her in a double S for sure. Eva, I love her AoE attack. It is a great attack champion. I would have gave her a 3S. Nikolov, I like his box, but that's about all he does. I'd keep him where he was. Daria, I haven't played too much with. Ivy, these are damage dealers. I would have gave Ivy probably a double S. She deals a lot of damage. I believe her multipliers are very hard. Hit very hard, I mean. So what we're looking at here, though, is how do we figure out, do we want to use these characters in our lineup? Well, you need to make sure that who you're trying to build up synergizes with the rest of your team. So if we have to go in here and we are looking at PvP mode, because we want to succeed in PvP mode, we are going to have to click this button. We're going to pick one. See if we can get somebody a little more around our range here. Let's try this one. So what we're going to look at is the synergy of our team. Do we have a tank? Yes, I have a tank up front. Do we have a healer? I have a healer. Do we have a couple AoEs? Yes. Do we have a support? Actually, Ivy here, or Eva here, she is a support and an AoE attacker. In the middle here, I have my straight damage dealer. Up front here, I have another damage dealer who's going to leap right to the back. Does this team synergize with what I want? Can I change it out? Now, I can't just go in and throw all these in because they're my top enforcers, because they may be all attackers. That's not going to do me any good, because they may have a tank that I can't get through so easily like he does right here. That's not what you want. You need to have a healer. You need to have a tank. Look at the characters before you decide to level them up and before you decide to sacrifice what they are. So we'll just go through this fight real quick here. I'll put it in a slower mode so we can watch it. Now you see the special ability lines with all those front lines. There's the front. This tank's going to use his special ability right here. He put up a big shield on AoE everyone. And there we go. So, just think about what you're doing. Those are the ways to figure out what you're looking at. Make sure your team synergizes. We don't want all attackers just because you can level them all the way up. We're not brute forcing things. It does not work in this game, especially in PvP or PvE mode. But either way, enjoy the game, guys. Thank you for watching again. If you liked it, subscribe.